In accordance with Sections 45 and 53 of the Planning Act 1990 as amended, this meeting... Yeah. Sorry, no problem. This meeting of the Committee of Adjustment of the City of Toronto is called to order. My name is Zahir Bayat, and I'll be chairing today's session. Panel members today are Peter Reid, Larry Clay, Gary McKay, and Dylan Reid, and the Deputy Secretary Treasury, Sabrina Salatino. We acknowledge the land we are meeting on is the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples. We also acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13 with the Mississaugas of the Credit. Committee of Adjustment public hearings are now conducted in a hybrid, in-person and virtual format. Some applicants and participants will make their submissions in person, and others will participate virtually by electronic means through WebEx. The meetings are also streamed on the Toronto City Planning YouTube channel, and anyone wishing to view the hearing may watch on YouTube. Those who want to participate virtually and have registered in advance will be connecting with their computers or telephone and have the option of participating via video or audio only. When your item is called, you will be unmuted by the moderator. For both in-person and virtual participants, Committee of Adjustment staff will share presentations submitted in accordance with the written submission deadline. People attending in person today who want to receive a copy of the decision of the committee on an application must fill out a decision request card, and those participating virtually need to submit a written request for a decision by email. If you do not agree with the decision of the committee, you may be able to appeal the decision to the Toronto Local Appeal Body, or in some limited circumstances, to the Ontario Land Tribunal. However, the provincial government amended the Planning Act and generally removed rights of third parties to appeal Committee of Adjustment decisions. Only the applicant, Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing, specified persons, and public bodies are permitted to appeal decisions of the Committee of Adjustment. Appeal instructions are set out at the bottom of the decision of the committee. Today, I will call each item in the order listed on the agenda. Where an application is uncontested, the agent or applicant may proceed with their presentation if desired. When the committee does not require presentation, applicants are to advise the chair should they wish to speak to the committee. The committee may ask questions and/or take the matter into committee for a decision. Each speaker, including the applicant, will be given a maximum of 5 minutes to address the committee. I will comment when you are reaching the 5 minutes. Any presentation or other materials you wish to submit to the committee must have been emailed in advance of the hearing. Staff and committee members cannot accept materials at the hearing. When addressing the committee, please clearly state your name and address. Please remember to confine your remarks to the matters outlined in the application. The applicant or agent will proceed first and will make a presentation to the committee on the application. Then individuals, either in support or opposed to the application, will be invited to speak. Generally, we first call on speakers in the hearing room and then those participating through WebEx. Committee members may ask questions of each speaker after they have finished their presentation. When all speakers are finished, the applicant or agent has an opportunity to rebut only those issues that were raised by the speakers. This will mark the end of the discussion. The application will then be taken into committee for a decision. Madam Deputy Secretary Treasurer, I should ask, are there any declarations of interest in the panel? None? Seeing none. Do we have any deferral requests today for the
Through you, Mr. Chair, I don't see any for this afternoon.
Thank you. And are there any files to be closed this afternoon?
Through you, Mr. Chair, I don't see any for this afternoon.
Thank you. Then we'll proceed with item 19A, ABC, 304 COSBURN Avenue. And the purpose of the consent request is to obtain consent to sever the property into two undersized residential lots. Parts 2 and 4 have a lot frontage of 4.71 meters in an area of 136.79 meters squared to construct a new 3-story semi-detached dwelling with a front covered porch, a front second-story balcony, a rear first-story terrace, a rear second-story terrace, and a rear third-story balcony, requiring variances to the zoning bylaws outlined in minor variance application A1022/22TEY. Part 4, the existing easement right-of-way is cited under instrument number EY 224836 will be maintained and unaltered. And we have parts 1 and 3. Parts 1 and 3 has a lot frontage of 4.43 meters and an area of 128.71 square meters to construct a new 3-story semi-detached dwelling with a front covered porch, a front second-story balcony, a rear third-story terrace, a second-story staircase, and a third-story balcony, requiring variances to the zoning bylaws outlined in minor variance application A1021/22TEY. And part 3, the existing easement right-of-way is cited under instrument number EY 224836 will be maintained and unaltered. The committee had before it the following communication: copy of draft our plan of survey, copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, 3 photographs of trees on the subject property received September 27th, a covering letter from the agent received October 24th, 2024, commenting agency reports. We have community planning report received May 29th, 2025. We have engineering report, staff report dated June 27th, 2025. Urban forestry report received July 9th, 2025. And transportation services report received July 2nd, 2025. We also have an advisory staff report from Metrolinx received July 9th, 2025. We have, in addition, correspondence in opposition from 62 Cadorna Avenue and 63 Cadorna Avenue, both received July the 2nd, 2025.
Through you, Mr. Chair, we do have the agent online, no registered speakers for this item.
Thank you. Mr. Khan, are you there? Mr. Khan? Mr. Imran Khan, are you there?
We're just unmuting the agent. Give us a second.
Mr. Khan?
Through the chair, we're still trying to unmute the speaker.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, Imran. We're going to try to call you back.
Hello.
Hi, Mr. Khan.
Yeah, hello.
Hi, good afternoon.
Sorry, did you
Good
want
afternoon.
did you want us to unmute Jonathan Beninkowski?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
we'll
because
do that.
he needs to talk. He is the presenter. Yeah, thank you
Okay,
very much.
thank
yeah.
you.
Sorry, is Mr. Benkowski presenting? Thank you.
Are you able to hear me?
Yes, yes, we can. Could you get your name and address, please?
Yes, Jonathan Minskowski, 301 Keewatin Avenue.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you very much for being here. We don't have anybody, I don't believe we have anybody in opposition that will be speaking. Let me just see if my colleagues require a presentation or not. Or question? Oh, thank you. Mr. Reed's just asked for a short presentation, if you
Absolutely.
don't mind, Mr. Benkowski.
Absolutely. If you could bring up my support material, I did file a couple of graphics. So this is a corner property. It's essentially mimicking a severance that's happened on the exact adjacent property to the west. In terms of the variances, yes, they are narrow lots. But again, I did in my presentation material just review a couple of the policies and a little bit of planning context of what this property is subject to. So this subject property is located on a major street as per map 3 of the City of Toronto official plan. It's also a major street as per zoning bylaw 569/2013 and is designated neighborhoods in the City of Toronto official plan. As such, this is actually subject to the EHON
I don't
policies.
see any
Mr.
presentation material.
Benkowski, sorry to interrupt you. Do you just have one? Sorry.
I don't see any presentation
Yeah,
material. I couldn't find any in the material, so
I was looking for the same thing, your presentation materials. I don't have it as part of our initial package, and I don't see it in the supplementary either, actually. Let me just see if colleagues have.
It is on the AIC, Mr. Chair.
Do we have it available?
Through you, Mr. Chair, I'll check the AIC now.
Thank you. If you can just bear with us a moment, Ms.
Absolutely.
Benkowski. Thank you. Yep.
I believe it's labeled CA supporting material presentation.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. We've got it up. Thank you
There it is.
very much. Okay.
There it is. Yeah, so as I was saying, this is a corner property located at the northeast corner of COSBURN and Caradona. If we continue on to the next screen, I was just giving a brief overview of kind of the planning context of the policies that apply to this property. So as I mentioned, it is a major street as per the official plan. It's also a major street as per zoning bylaw 569/2013, and it's designated neighborhoods in the City of Toronto official plan. So in terms of the overall planning context, this would be permitted to go up to 60 units, as well as 6 stories and a 20-meter height. Now, part of the height provisions are under appeal at the OLT currently, but the actual appeal is for people to be able to build more than 6 stories rather than less than 6 stories. So the planning context of what we are here, again, is encouraging density, is encouraging development. I've also given a brief excerpt from Chapter 4.1.5, the neighborhoods portions, which speaks to lots fronting onto a major street shown on map 3 and designated neighborhoods. Again, as I previously mentioned, the property is subject to both of those, are to be distinguished from lots in the interior of the block adjacent to that street in accordance with Policy 6 in order to recognize the potential for a more intense form of development along major streets to the extent permitted by this plan. Now, that policy is not new. That is not something that rose out of the EHON guidelines. That's a historical policy that's been in place for many years. So how that leads us to the development, if we go to the next screen, they are grade-related semi-detached dwellings. Again, the variances that are requested, really, in my opinion, are minor in nature. These will ultimately most likely become multifamily dwellings. At the time, the owner wasn't ready to commit to that. So essentially, two of the variances could very easily be eliminated, which would be the FSI as well as the coverage. There's an ample rear yard setback over 7.5 meters. And again, it really mimics the dwelling that is adjacent to it. Through you, Mr. Chair, I hope that answers your question, Mr. D. Reed, and I'm happy to answer anything else.
Just before we move on, you mentioned two variances that could be or should be removed.
No, what I was saying, Mr. Chair, is these will most likely become duplexes, each one of them. Secondary suites, because really the definition for the duplex doesn't include semi-detached houses yet, although that will be changing soon. So essentially the coverage in the FSI could very easily be removed were these, and which most likely are going to become two-family homes.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, actually, just to follow up on that. So, I mean, the plans show like a secondary suite in the basement and a main house, right?
Correct.
So, should we, in the purpose of application, indicate that? Yeah. Usually, it's indicated if there's going to be a secondary suite in the purpose of application, but it's not mentioned here.
Through you, Mr. Chair, I mean, it could be, I've seen them be identified and not identified because it's a permitted use. I'm sort of in your hands as to how you'd like to deal with that.
Sabrina,
or address that.
what do you think? Is it significant?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, we can add it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it might just be.
Yeah, we can add that.
That's all the questions I had.
Mr. Clay?
Thanks, Chair. Jonathan, I inherently don't have any real problems with the proposal, but I am curious. I mean, the lot frontage is really narrow, and I do appreciate that it's on a corner, so it doesn't have the same, I don't think, impact on the surrounding houses that it would otherwise. It was mid-block. But have you done a look around to see there's a lot of semis in this area too. Have you looked around to see what the frontage is on these semis? And that particularly, I guess, that new build right next to you, what would its frontage for each of the two semis be?
Through you, Mr. Chair, Mr. Clay, the only difference with that one is that would have been divided equally. It was the same frontage as the subject site. Here we have a little bit of variation in the lot sizes just to give the corner lot, which would be part 2, a little bit more frontage to increase that flanking side yard setback. So in terms of what we see on the screen here, that adjacent dwelling will have essentially a historically exact frontage as the subject property. Now, along this stretch, I looked at the lot patterning. They are essentially around that 8 to 10 meters historically. But again, what I would say is by implementing semi-detached dwellings, the massing looks more similar to one house rather than having two dwellings with a space in between, which creates, kind of that skinnier house. What I would also say to the frontage, it does lead to a functional house. If we were to look at the plan, and I do think, part of a justification for a severance is the functionality of the house itself. The bedrooms are all in excess of 10 foot wide. So in terms of where the reduced lot frontage, which again is quite narrow, maybe one of the narrowest I've ever done, it does lead to a functional house inside of it, Mr. Clay.
Yeah, it is pretty narrow. Even by downtown standards, it's pretty narrow. But the fact that it's duplex, I guess, is an important consideration. Or sorry, a semi.
Correct. Again, it just leads to that massing, not of two smaller, skinnier homes. Rather, that mass looks like it's one home. Again, similar to what is located next door.
Yeah. I get that. And there's transit on COSBURN? I
Absolutely.
don't know
Absolutely.
that area as well as I should.
It's essentially a 5-minute walk from Donlands and COSBURN.
Okay.
I'll add, I actually checked, COSBURN is a frequent bus route as
Is it?
well.
Okay, yeah, I wasn't sure.
Going from Maine to Broadview, so as well as being close to the subway by
the
walking,
airport,
it's
yeah.
also got a frequent bus route.
Okay,
I did
thanks,
check
Dylan.
that.
Yeah, thought the same thing. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for Ms. Benkowski? No? Thank you, Ms. Benkowski. We'll take it into committee and
Thank you,
look for
committee.
a decision. Okay, who wants to take this on?
Oh, no, I'm happy if you want. Do you want to do
Thank
it?
you, Mr. Clay. Or Mr. Reed?
Go ahead.
Sure, I'll take this on. As I said, my initial reaction was a little bit of concern with the 4.43 frontage. That's pretty narrow, as I say, even by downtown Toronto standards. But it appears it's not dissimilar from the new build semi-rate adjacent to it, and that would appear to visually be in keeping with being on a major avenue. So I think the variances themselves for the individual semis are relatively minor. The only, I guess because it's got such a small frontage, it's the lot area is considerably smaller too. Although I will note that there's no landscaping variance for the rear yard. So they've been able to carve out enough front and rear yard to ensure that they don't need any particular variance for soft landscaping, which I think is a positive. So again, my initial concern was size, but I think given its location, it's on a corner lot, and I think that mitigates the narrowness of the lots a little bit. So I think I can support this one.
Thank you. That's a motion, I take it.
No, I wanted to hear, Dylan, I think, wanted to have some comment.
No, I had very much the same feeling. It was a little narrow, but it works. And I have actually seen some other semis in that East York area that are equally narrow. I wouldn't necessarily want them myself, but they are functional. So for the same reason, I think it's supportable as well.
Yeah, and there's the green space on the municipal boulevard, given it's a corner lot, actually, I think contributes to the reduction in the visual massing. So I'm happy to move approval of this, Chair, if you like.
I was just going to comment that.
Oh, sorry, didn't want to cut you off there.
Just to say that, perhaps in the future we might see tourist buses going by, pointing out the skinny homes of them. I'll let you go forward.
Thanks, Chair. I'll move approval of this application for the reasons we've discussed. There are some conditions. There is a transportation condition. There's a forestry advisory. There is forestry conditions for part 1 and 3, forestry number 3. For parts 2 and 4, there's forestry condition 1 and 3. I don't think we have any particular, I didn't check the screen. Is there balconies?
No, I don't think.
I didn't check for there's no balconies? No balconies.
There's engineering conditions too, though.
Okay, standard consent conditions. I'm sorry. Thank you. Thank you. Got all that? Do you want to read it back to me?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Reed. All those in favor? Thank you. Mr. Benkowski, you've got your approval. Thank you. Okay, moving on to item 20 has been postponed, so we'll move on to item number 21. Item number 21 is number 38 CEDARVALE Avenue. It's seeking consent to sever the property into 2 lots. The committee had before it a copy of draft our plan of survey, a revised plan of survey, revised draft plan of survey received June 17th. Copy plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations. 6 photographs of trees on the subject property received April the 17th, and a cover letter from the agent received on April 17th. We also have correspondence from community planning received on June the 9th. We also have engineering report, staff report received on May 22nd, 2025, and an advisory report, staff report from Metrolinx received July the 9th, 2025.
Through you, Mr. Chair, we have the agent online, no registered speakers for this item.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Mastrandrea. How are you? Hello? John, Mr. Okay, thank you.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone.
Hi, good afternoon.
My name is Leo
Sorry, name and address, please.
Leo Mastrandrea from 817 COSBURN Avenue.
Thank you very much. Mr. Mastrandrea, I don't think we need a presentation, but let me ask my colleagues if they'd like. No? I want to say thank you for your cover letter, because I think the cover letter was helped a lot with the explanation. So since we don't need a presentation, we'll take it into committee and come forth with a decision. Thank you, Mr. Reid.
Thanks, Chair. This is really a technical consent. The title is just merged because both these lots were under the same ownership, and this is just to permit the disposition of these. So there's zero, I have zero concern in terms of bringing these lots back to their original form. So I move approval of the application subject to the standard consent conditions.
Thank you. I have a second.
The Metrolinx clause too.
It's an advisory, Metrolinx.
Actually, they asked for an environmental easement, which
We
I
don't,
like
we don't,
granting.
No.
So,
Yeah, no.
typically don't oppose that.
so standard conditions of consent.
Do you
Sorry,
want
I
the
would
warning
second that,
clause?
motion.
Sorry, through you,
There's
Mr.
the
Chair.
warning clause.
Did you want
What
to
we usually
include
do.
the warning clause?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Thank you. So we have a motion to approve, moved by Mr. Peter Reid and seconded by Mr. McKay. All those in favor? Thank you. You have your approval, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, moving on to next item in the agenda is item number 22, 237 Evelyn Avenue. The purpose of, can you, sorry, you're not done yet. I've got to do all
My
the
mistake.
paperwork.
Jumped the gun, sorry.
237 Evelyn Avenue. The purpose of the application is to construct a new one-story detached ancillary building, a two-car garage, with a washroom in the rear yard. The existing ancillary building, garage, and shed at the north limits of the site will be demolished. Committee had before it the following communications: copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations. 9 photographs of the trees on the subject property received May 28th. Arborist's report received June 24th. Presentation materials received from the agent on June the 8th. Supporting materials received from the agent on June the 8th. Tree protection plan received June the 24th, 2025. Tree site plan prepared by the agent and received May 28th. We have 2 form letters in support signed by owners and occupants of 239 and 233 Evelyn, respectively. 14 signature petition in support signed by owners and occupants of properties on Evelyn Avenue received July the 7th, 2025.
Through you, Mr. Chair, we have the agent here in person, no registered speakers for this item.
Thank you. Now you name and address, please.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, my name is Savam Jokovic. I am the agent and designer for the requested 2 minor variances.
Thank you. Mr. Mokovic, we don't have anybody in oppositions, but let me just see if my colleagues have any questions or need for a presentation.
It's a very quick question. Is the washroom that's being included, is that because it's also going to be used as kind of a workshop?
Just for access and convenience, if you're in the garage and working on a car, you can have quick access to it.
Okay, so like the idea is they're probably working on the car and stuff.
Yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah, wash your hands up. If it's, wash the grease off kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. McKay?
Just with respect to the total floor area, so you're almost double what the bylaw permits. Tell us a little more about that, why you're asking for 78.94 meters squared?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're wanting to construct a 2-car garage to replace the existing semi-detached garage, which is actually really close to the house. So we're actually positioning the proposed garage towards the back of the property, which gives a nicer kind of separation of buildings. Currently, we have a semi-detached garage plus a concrete block shed behind it, plus we have a frame shed behind it for a total area of 40 square meters. And the idea is to kind of consolidate all of that into a single ancillary structure, which is the rear 2-car detached garage. A couple things to note is that the lot itself is quite large, so can comfortably accommodate this 2-car garage. As I mentioned, it's appropriately nestled in the backyard, and we've consulted both our immediate neighbors as well as other neighbors on the street, and we were in consensus that that's kind of the best location for it to kind of maintain a more open backyard and not block light to the neighboring properties. And I think another thing to factor in here is the overall massing. You know, massing is generally regulated by numerous bylaws, and we're compliant with the rear yard setback, side yard setback, building height, coverage, and separation. So I think when you evaluate it in aggregate, the building massing is actually quite appropriate despite the floor area exceeding that maximum. And the other thing that's kind of new and on the table these days is the opportunity to build a garden suite as of right. So a garden suite could be built on this property, which is 2 stories tall and has a footprint of 60 meters squared. And actually, I do have a slide that might be useful to reference, slide number 3 in the supporting material. That's it there, kind of the blue box, if we can zoom in a little bit. But as you can see there, the footprint of a garden suite that could be built as of right isn't that different than what we're proposing. Now, of course, we're proposing a 1-story structure, whereas a garden suite could be a 2-story structure. So with that being the case, I think the overall massing is appropriate for the lot as well, for the lot itself.
Okay, thank you. It's great.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thanks, Chair. I think you're right. This is a large lot, and I think it can accommodate this garage, and it's good that you're putting it at the back. And I see your neighbor doesn't have theirs at the back.
Right.
Which I can imagine will be a little bit of a...
It's kind of awkward. That's where
awkward.
the semi-detached garage used to be, but we're pushing it back.
Right.
Yeah.
But I am looking at the site plan, and you're a little light on your soft landscaping, and particularly given you've got a really large lot.
Can I speak to that for a moment?
I'd like you to speak to that. I'm wondering, I guess my question would be, is there any way you think you might be able to do a little bit better?
Well, it's funny. We've really gone at it to try to maximize the rear yard softscaping. And I do understand we're at 42%, whereas 50 is required. But just to clarify, if you go to the first slide on the supporting material, actually, let's just go straight to the second slide. That might be a little more direct. So you can see the site plan above is the existing, and this site plan below is the proposed. So the existing softscaping is being reduced. It is 59%. We're going down to 42%. But we have made some concessions to kind of minimize how much softscaping we're losing. One thing we've done is we've minimized the width of the driveway to 2 meters. You know, obviously we'd rather have a wider driveway, but we're going to the minimum required width of 2 meters just to minimize that hardscaping. There is an existing kind of patio behind the existing garage, and so we're removing that. And any portion of it that doesn't overlap the driveway, we're putting down sod and softscaping. And similarly, the existing footprint of the previous garage as well, whatever's not overlapping the driveway, we're softscaping as well. So we've really taken great efforts here to maximize the softscaping in the backyard.
You're probably familiar with this committee sometimes when we look at these kinds of things where you're pouring new concrete.
Yeah.
We often will suggest and wonder if there's an opportunity to replace the concrete with permeable pavers.
Permeable pavers.
I mean, that doesn't count towards soft landscaping.
Right.
But it allows some of
Right.
the water to go through rather than being shedded off.
Right.
So is that something that you would consider?
Yeah, absolutely. I think
I don't think it's any more expensive. Probably it's cheaper.
yeah, that's fine with us. Yeah, we can.
So you've got an existing concrete driveway, so could we say from that point back,
Anything that's new. You know,
anything that's new would be permeable?
yeah, perfect. That's great. Yep.
Mr. Reid?
Honestly, this is just a question of curiosity, but how are you, like we've encountered this several times where people are like, well, we need space to turn around. How are you planning to turn the cars around to go back out? Like, how does that going to work? I'm just curious. Because you've done a great job of like minimizing this surface area, but like I'm like, how are you going to turn the cars around?
I mean, I drive a 2012 RAV4, but all these new cars have these rear view cameras, which are pretty cool. So
someone's going to back out like the whole way?
Might go over
that's
the-
impressive.
I suspect they'll probably go over the lawn a little bit, right?
you might
Maybe
have
a little bit.
Might have to.
I was just curious.
Yeah, I mean, Sean, did you want to speak to that or?
The vehicle
Are you-
talking about.
Sorry.
Oh yeah, sorry. This one here, yeah.
I'm sorry, we just encounter this a lot, so I'm interested to hear what you're.
Oh, it's this one here, Sean.
I'm new to this.
Name, please.
The actual vehicle that we're talking about is in,
Name and address, please.
oh, sorry.
Thank you.
It's Sean Jennings, 237 Evelyn Avenue.
Thank you.
The vehicle that we're talking about is actually an antique pickup truck, so it doesn't get moved very often, but it's dimensionally smaller and it's not a day-to-day in and out.
Oh, okay. Got
So my neighbor uses her garage in a similar way. It's a drive-in and a back-out. And it's a pretty wide distance between the buildings as well, so it's not really an issue.
Fine. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just for my part, I do find the variance number 1 problematic. Where previously you had well over 50% and to now go below soft landscaping, I do find it problematic. However, with the condition that Mr. Clay has suggested for permeability, I think I can support that.
Okay.
Thank you. We'll take it into committee and look for a motion. Mr. Clay?
Sure. Thanks, Chair. Again, I think we've had a good discussion about this. As I mentioned earlier, I think this is quite a reasonable approach to resiting the garage towards the back. And I will say that the agent and the client have done a really good job of discussing this with their neighbors, and clearly have got an awful lot of support from the surrounding folks. So I think that's really good. I don't have any problem with the extra large garage because it has, it is quite a large and deep lot, and it seems if we can tie this to having permeable pavers, I'll make a motion to that effect that we will move this approval of this application subject to the condition that any new concrete or hard surface in the back be constructed out of permeable pavers. I don't think there are any other conditions I can see.
None that I see.
Okay.
Thank you. Mr. Reed, thank you very much for seconding. We have a motion on the floor. Mr. Clay moves to approve. Mr. Reed seconds. All those in favor? Thank you. You have your approval, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Item number 22 has been postponed, so we move on to item number, what happened to 23?
Through you, Mr. Chair, that should be item number 23 has been postponed, so we're moving on to item number 24.
So 24, oh, I see, okay. So item number 24 is, bear with me, sorry. Item number 24 is .439 Annette Street. Purpose of the application is to alter the existing two-story detached dwelling, a duplex, by constructing a third-story dormer, a front covered porch with stairs, front basement, walkout with stairs, a rear covered ground floor deck with stairs, and a rear third floor balcony. There will be a total of 2 residential dwelling units on this lot, 1 unit within the basement level and 1 occupying the first, second, and third levels. Committee had before it a copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, an arborist's report received on the 23rd of May, and a tree protection plan received on the 23rd of May as well.
Through you, Mr. Chair, we have the agent online, no registered speakers for this item.
Thank you.
Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon. Could we get your name and address, please?
Yes, it's Erica Bergsma from Post Architecture, address 6 Dartnell Ave.
Thank you very much. Ms. Bergsma, I don't think we need a presentation, but let me ask my colleagues if they have any need for a presentation or questions. We have a question.
Just to clarify, is it already a duplex or is it going to be converted into a duplex?
It will be converted. The basement currently is unfinished.
Right, okay. So could we just adjust the purpose to remove the duplex at the beginning? Because it's not currently a duplex, it's going to become one.
Correct.
Is that okay, Sabrina? Yeah, okay. Thanks.
And what would the wording for that be?
We're just removing the brackets duplex in the first, at the beginning.
Oh, the duplex in the first entrance?
Yeah.
That's excellent, thank you. So this will be an amended item. Okay, any other questions, comments? None? Okay, it's a reasonably straightforward application. I'll look for, take it into committee and look for a motion. Thank you, Mr. Reed.
Thanks, Chair. I'm happy to move a motion on this. There's just a series of kind of small touches to this house to make it be more livable and to add a second unit, which is very good, particularly in this neighborhood. The front yard setback looks extremely large, but that's just because the neighbors, one neighboring property is extremely set back, so it's really just a slight change from the existing situation. So I think the variances are reasonable and are minor and will have no impact on the neighbors, so I move approval without condition.
Thank you, as amended.
Pardon me, with the purpose amended, yeah, thank you.
Mr. McKay, did I see your hand go up? Thank you.
I'll second that motion.
Thank you, Mr. McKay. All those in favor? Thank you. Ms. Bergsma, you have your approval.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Through you, Mr. Chair, that ends our 2 p.m. time slot. We will break for 15 minutes and then commence the 3 p.m. with item 25 through to item 29.
Thank you kindly. Oops.
Well, the deferrals and the withdrawals do help, right? So, how you feeling? You're quieter than you usually are.
Well, it's just got a lot of chatterboxes.
Well, it's Dylan. It's Dylan, always commenting.
No, it's just a little itch, you know, one of those ones that like the itch you can't get
Yeah,
rid of.
yeah, and the halls don't.
It does for a bit.
I do, and I say, well, let's put this barrier up in between us. Gonna hold you to that. If you're gonna say that, we're gonna hold you to it. I think we all get up and leave at 4 o'clock if we're not done. Okay. Just let Sabrina approve everything. Oh, there are a lot of porches? Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're right.
you. Ready to roll? Okay. And we return with the 3 o'clock agenda. So item number 25 is the first item for this afternoon. Number 25 is 2 Wells Hill Avenue. Pardon me, the purpose of the application is to alter the existing 2-story detached dwelling by constructing a front 1-story addition. It's a porch enclosure, a new front porch with stairs, a 1-story addition at the southeast corner of the dwelling with a covered porch with stairs, a side south canopy for the existing rear garage, and a 2nd-story addition with a rooftop deck at the northwest corner portion of the dwelling above the existing 1-story portion of the dwelling. Also to convert the east portion of the attached garage and shed into habitable space. The west portion of the attached garage will be maintained for 1 parking space. The committee had before it a copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations. Pardon me, 3 photographs of trees on the subject property received 28th of May. Covering letter from the agent received on the 5th of June, and presentation materials received from the agent on July the 10th.
Through you, Mr. Chair, we have the agent online, no registered speakers for this item.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Gillen. Manuel Gillen, are you there? Oh.
I don't think it's my turn, but my thing keeps saying I'm asked to be on mute, but this is not my property.
Thank you.
Manuel, you've been unmuted.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Gillen.
Oh,
Welcome.
thank
Good
you.
afternoon.
Good
Name
afternoon.
and
Not
address,
sure what was
please.
happening there.
Sorry,
Yes, my name is
we just need your name and address for the record, please.
yes, my name is Manuel Guillen from
Guillen.
30 Bertrand Avenue, Scarborough.
Thank you very much. Let me just see, I don't believe we have anybody that in opposition that requires a presentation. However, let me check with my colleagues to see if anybody has any questions or would like a presentation. No, none? Oh, that's great. Thank you. Looks like we don't have any questions or concerns. Despite the fact that you have eight variances, I don't think they are problematic at all. Just a quick question that I have on my part is variance number 6, which is a reduction in, I think it's your front yard landscaping. I take it that's going to be difficult to mitigate in any way.
It is not something that we're currently adding on as part of paved areas or paved surfaces that are already existing. It's most likely representing a legal non-conforming condition that's currently there. And that is because we have a very reduced front yard setback that is already dictated by the front porch. So we're trying to stay in line with that area, and the only paved surface, which would be by use of permeable surfaces, call it interlock or similar surfaces, would only be the access into the side entrance, but nothing additional that we are creating in terms of additional impermeable surfaces. we're trying to maintain as much greenery as possible.
Right. Well, thank you. I think it's again one of those unusual sites being on the corner, but it's a good use of the side space to expand the property. Let me just see if my colleagues have any comments. If not, we'll take it into committee and look for a motion. Yep. Mr. Reid? I'm sorry. Yeah, Mr. Reid, sorry.
I'll make a motion.
Yes, thank you,
This is actually a very creative use of this, a very unusual space. I thought it was a very thoughtful plan that really minimizes kind of the impact while adding a lot of space for the family. And I think the variances for the most part are fairly minimal, except maybe for the front setback. But there's plenty of city land to kind of mitigate that. So I'm happy to move approval with no conditions.
Thank you, Mr. Reid. Seconder? Mr. Peter Reid seconds. Thank you. All those in favor? Thank you. You have your, Mr. Guillen, you have your approval. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Welcome. Okay. Moving on to item number 26. Item number 6 is number 35 Methuen Avenue. Purpose of the application is to alter the existing two-story semi-detached dwelling by constructing a front one-story addition, a porch enclosure. The committee had before it a copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, 2 photographs of the subject property received June the 5th, tree protection plan received June the 5th, staff report from Ravine and Natural Features, received July the 9th, and we have 2 form letters in support by owners and occupants of 33 Methuen and 37 Methuen Avenue.
Can I make one point?
Yes.
The report from Ravine Natural Features is actually for 5 RIDOUT, number 28. The forestry made a mistake.
Wrong place. That's one you mentioned
Yeah.
previously. Yes, thank you. Please ignore the inclusion of the Ravine and Natural Features report because that's for another item. Thank
Through you,
you.
Mr. Chair. We do have the owner online. I believe she'll be speaking, so we'll unmute her at this time.
Thank you.
Hello, Catherine
afternoon.
Wingrove, 35 Methuen.
Thank you, Ms. Wingrove. I don't believe we have any need for a presentation. Any questions for Ms. Wingrove? None at all either. My goodness, Ms. Wingrove, you're adding to the list of very straightforward applications today. Thank you very much. We'll take it into committee and look for a motion. This is a very straightforward.
Here, you should take this one.
Yeah. All right, Chair. Yes, I think this is quite straightforward, really just enclosing a front porch, and the variances are not huge. So I would move that we approve this minor variance application, and there are no conditions.
Thank you very much, Mr. McKay. Do we have a seconder? Mr. Peter Reid, thank you. All those in favor? Thank you. Ms. Wingrove, you have your approval. Thank you. And moving on to 27. Number 27 is 157 Browning Avenue. The purpose of this application is to alter the existing 2 1/2 story semi-detached dwelling by constructing a complete 3rd story addition, a front new canopy above the existing porch, and a rear 3-story addition with a deck and stairs. Application has 2 variances being requested. And The agent is Mr. Oliveira. Do we have any? And there are nobody in opposition.
Through you, Mr. Chair, we do have Nick Allen, and we also have one registered speaker.
Oh.
We're not sure if they're in concern or opposition.
Thank you.
So I'll
Allen?
unmute.
Hi,
maybe-
good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Sorry, Mr. Allen, can you just speak up a little louder, please?
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Better, thank you.
Thank you. My name is Nick Allen from Replacement Design, speaking on behalf of the property owners. My address is 160 The Westway, Unit 16A, Etobicoke, Ontario.
Thank you very kindly. Is the person speaking in opposition? Yeah?
No, I know he's online, but is he here for opposition? We don't know, right? Can we unmute him, please? Let's unmute him.
Can you hear me?
Hi, good afternoon.
Hello, my name is Derek Hurst. I live at 153 Browning. I don't necessarily oppose. I just wanted to understand. I had some concerns about what's being done to the front of the house. The owner has reviewed sort of the drawings of what they plan, and I don't have any particular concern. My main concern is whether this plan, I don't believe it does, but it has nothing to do with installing front pad parking.
Okay, thank you very much. That's it, I take it?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, great. Did we get your name and address? I think we did.
Yes, Derek Hurst from 153 Browning.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Is that the only person?
Yes, through you, Mr. Chair, that's it. So we can go back to Nick
Go back to
Allen.
Mr. Allen. Mr. Allen?
Hi there, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
I don't think that was it didn't sound like opposition, rather curiosity.
No, it didn't sound like it. Yeah, all good.
Okay, great. Thank you. Let me just see if any of my colleagues have any.
Well, I think the neighbor was wondering whether there was a front yard parking pad, and I think
Yeah.
from the drawings, there is none, and there's no variance for it. So I think we can confirm that there's no front yard parking as
Yes,
part of
Mr.
this
Allen,
proposal.
could you confirm that?
Yeah, that's correct. The drawings reflect the intent. There is no front pad parking proposed on the site plan. And here today to speak to the two variances we have before us.
Thank you very much. Okay, let's take it into committee and see where this one goes. Mr. Reid?
Thanks, Chair. I'm happy to take this because I think it's a good proposal. I really like the fact that it stays within the existing footprint of the house. And from the street, it's not really apparent that anything significant's happened. And it doesn't extend any further than the house is now or its neighbor. So I think it's a good way of adding this GFA to the house without creating unnecessary or undue impacts on the neighbors. And there's just the two variances. So I think it's acceptable, and I'll move approval without condition.
Thank you very much. Do we have a seconder? Mr. Reid, thank you. All those in favor? Thank you. Mr. Allen, you have your approval.
Thank you very much. Have a great
Thank
afternoon.
you. Take care. Moving on to number 28. Item number 28 is 5 RIDOUT Street. And the purpose of this application is to construct a new 3-story detached dwelling with a covered front porch with stairs, a side east carport and a canopy, with a canopy, and a rear ground floor deck. Pardon me. The committee had before it the following communication: copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, covering a letter from the agent received May 29th, 2025, an arborist report received May 29th, Rental housing demolition conversion declaration received June the 9th. Staff report from Urban Forestry received July the 9th. And we have 6 form letters in support signed by owners and occupants of 51 Hewitt Avenue, 50 and 56 Indian Grove, 266 Indian Road, and 8 RIDOUT Street received June the 19th. 90 and also from 94 Boasted Avenue received July the 3rd. We also have correspondence in opposition from 280 Indian Road, 7 RIDOUT Street, 15 RIDOUT Street, 7 RIDOUT Street, and we also have another piece of correspondence in opposition from 78 Indian Grove received July the 10th.
Through you, Mr. Chair, we also have the memo from Ravine Natural Feature Protection.
Oh, that's right.
We do have the agent here in person. We also have 1 registered speaker in opposition in person.
Thank you. Hi, welcome. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
If we can get your name and address, please.
My name is Tyler Peck from W&D Associates. Address is 47 Roselawn Avenue.
Thank you. We'll need a presentation as we have somebody.
Of course. Yeah, we have a presentation on file with staff. If staff are able to bring that up, thank you. Thank you to Chair and members. This application is for the alteration, if you go to the next slide, of the existing 3-story detached house with a new rear addition, the basement, ground, 2nd and 3rd story levels with an associated rear deck. The proposal also includes removing the existing garage and covered front porch. Next, on file with the committee, as noted, are 6 letters of support from the property directly across the street as well as nearby residential properties. We've been in contact with city planning staff. They've confirmed they have no comments or objection to the application. We've reviewed the urban forestry and RNFP conditions and have no objection to the permit application requirements, noting there's no proposed tree removal as part of the application. The other comments provided in letters to the committee will be addressed through my presentation. The site is in an area comprised of large detached residential buildings. The south portion of the site is subject to the RNFP bylaw, and RNFP staff have no objection to the proposal subject to the permit applications. Next slide. The rear area of the proposed addition is shown here, adjacent to the existing house at 7 Ridout Street, which is 3 stories in height and also includes a rear addition. The lot also abuts rear yards containing garages on Indian Road, and the houses on Indian Road are a considerable distance from the house to the right of the screen on the right there, as shown here. Next slide. I'd like to walk the committee through the requested variances and highlight the design measures that have been implemented to meet the 4 tests, mitigate impacts, and fit into the neighborhood context here. With respect to the front yard landscaping, we note that all trees in the front yard are proposed to be retained. The location of the existing driveway and walkway are proposed to remain specifically to limit injury to the existing trees in the front yard. Soft landscaping is proposed to be increased from the existing condition in the front yard through the removal of the existing garage and the covered front porch. As shown in this diagram, all available front yard space not required for the driveway and walkways has been utilized, and when combined with the soft landscaping in the city right-of-way, provides for a condition that is consistent with this streetscape. On the next slide, this additional diagram further illustrates in blue the proposed additional areas of soft landscaping while maintaining the existing condition as yellow as appropriate for tree protection. Next slide. The rear main wall height variance is limited to a portion of the 3rd floor only and is under the overall bylaw compliant height for the house, which is also under the 11-meter permissions. This diagram provides an outline of the adjacent house at 7 Ridout in red, showing its existing rear addition, which is over 9 meters in height, and demonstrates the step-backs proposed to mitigate visual impact, as well as demonstrating that no new windows are proposed on the new rear walls to respect privacy. On the next slide, these step-backs from all sides are shown in plan, and the proportion of the rear main wall subject to the variance, which is located in orange there, is located behind the rear wall of the adjacent house and is also central to the site. On the next slide, this aerial photograph of the site shows the proposed condition is consistent with the adjacent condition of a rear main wall height over 9 meters. The proposed rear windows on the on all stories also have direct views onto the subject site only, and there are no adverse impacts on privacy on the 3rd floor terraces that are shown here or the rear yards of abutting properties. Next slide. The proposed maximum building depth of 21.75 meters is measured from the required front yard setback to the basement's main rear wall. And that basement portion will not be perceived from the street or from adjacent properties. There's no variance required for building length under the bylaw, but these stats are shown here to the committee for comprehensiveness. I note that there is a bylaw compliant and generously sized rear yard area provided through this proposal. The next series of slides, if you want to go to the next one, demonstrate how the building depth has been designed to decrease floor by floor. The depth at the ground floor is pulled back from the basement, and it contains blank wall to blank wall conditions on the south, or blank wall to rear yard conditions on the north, and compliant and increased side yard setbacks, which provide a typical and appropriate residential condition. On the next slide, at the second floor, the building depth is approximately 17 meters, and its length, when measured from the front main wall, is less than 17 meters. And the rear main wall, the second floor and above, is behind, as shown on the section diagram, the adjacent property's rear main wall, which itself appears to have a length greater than 17 meters. On the next slide, at the third floor level, the length and depth are further decreased and fit appropriately on the site and in the context at less than 17 meters each. On the final slide, I reflect on the proposed density. The proposed density on this lot is the result of design considerations that I've noted, which include compliant and increased front, side, and rear yard setbacks, building height and massing that is stepped back and carefully located on the site and compatible with adjacent properties. I will wrap up.
Thank you.
This area of the city contains large residential buildings, and that's demonstrated by committee approvals in the local area, which frequently exceed 0.8. We have a proposed density of 0.82 on the site as a result of the proposed design. I'll wrap up by saying that the application meets the 4 tests as outlined in the detailed planning rationale, and I open myself up for questions.
Thank you kindly. I think we said there's one person in opposition online. Oh, they're here. Thank you.
Old questions. Okay, then we'll call up the owner of 7 RIDOUT Street.
Happy to.
Good afternoon. If you could have your name and address, please.
Sure. My name's Robert Nicholson. I live at 7 Ridout Street. I believe my wife is also on the phone, and one of my neighbors is here with me as well. You'll notice that there are a number of letters in opposition, all of which are not form letters. They're actually letters with content in them. So I just make the committee aware of that. Thank you very much for allowing me to speak to you today. I do appreciate the time. I've written a submission. Hopefully you have an opportunity to review it. I will not repeat those issues. I don't think that's productive here. It's quite clear from our perspective that there are significant variances, despite what the planner suggests that it does fall within the 4 criteria. We as the neighbors fundamentally disagree. From my perspective, there are 2 primary concerns. One is philosophical, and the second one practical. The first is based upon the idea that rules have been established that determine appropriate setbacks, sizes, dimensions, and generally accepted practices for a property. These rules vary by neighborhood, as different composition of housing activities have been deemed desirable by the nuances of each neighborhood. These rules are publicly available, they're well-known, they're established, and the real estate community is well aware of them. There are references in the proponent's submission about other exceptions in the neighborhood as justifying this request, but I was taught many, many years ago that just because someone else does it doesn't mean it's right. So the philosophical concern here is that this becomes the norm, that this house now becomes the reference for the planners to say we should make every other house bigger. And frankly, that's not what we and the other people who oppose this agree with. This is our neighborhood. You'll notice that the neighbors that have put in opposition are actually neighbors that either touch this property or are affected by the property. You'll also notice the address of those in support. Very few of them are actually very close to the house. The one exception is 8 Ridout Street, which is directly across the street from my house. It is currently owned by a gentleman by the name of John McCain. He has not lived in the house, and he has done extensive renovation to his house. And I would just put forth that Mr. McCain has done that extensive renovation without variances to the best of my knowledge. And when I look at this situation, I think it's quite different. So the second issue I have is practical. And we can say to ourselves that these are 4 variances, what does it really matter? But if we step back and examine what the implication, it's to increase the footprint, greatly exceeding the current regulations, to lengthen the building beyond the deemed acceptable amount, increase the height beyond the acceptability, and reduce the green space. Well, I honestly can't think of what more could be asked. Height, length, size, all beyond what is currently expected for the property. So, there are other large properties in the neighborhood. If one really wanted a bigger house, why not purchase a different property? This was a private sale. The house wasn't on the market. It's not like they've lived there for many years and the family circumstances have changed and they need to expand a family property. This was purpose purchased. I think that's very different than if we're looking for an exemption for somebody who has lived in a house for many years and because of certain circumstances would like an exemption. So, as I mentioned in the onset, I will not repeat the point that I made in my written submission, but it's fair to say percentage exceedances of many metrics are not minor, and certainly in my mind, a 46% variance is far from minor. I realize that the existing length of the house will likely change to 17 meters, but I don't think it should go well beyond my property. When I bought my house over 12 years ago, we renovated the house extensively. We actually reduced the size of the house. I bought my house as is. I didn't go and renovate a house to be bigger. I think there's something that just isn't right here with the proposal, quite frankly. I have no ill will against my new neighbors. I wish them well with their new home. I'm sure in time we can be fine neighbors. I just request that they limit their building to the existing rules that have been deemed to be appropriate for the neighborhood. I don't believe the requested variances are in keeping with the neighborhood. I don't believe they are desirable nor appropriate. And I remain steadfast in my opposition as a result and request that the committee reject. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very kindly. Can you just hold on a second? We'll make
Certainly.
a question. I think Mr. Clay has a question.
Yeah, thanks. So you've raised a number of, I think, generic concerns, but I wondered if you could just share with the panel what you see as being the negative impact of this proposal on your property.
Sure, certainly. So currently, the drawings that we have seen that have been posted on the City of Toronto website would indicate that the house will now extend past the back of our house. We enjoy, and I fully admit right now, the current house is significantly behind, I'll call it the back of our house. But with the extension they want to put on and the exceedances, it will now be passed, and we find that unacceptable.
Is that because it's privacy or shading or?
No, I couldn't claim shading. It's more a privacy issue from our perspective.
Okay.
I have a daughter who's a special needs kid, and we just don't feel it's appropriate.
Okay, thank you.
I wonder if I might just add, I wonder if we could just bring up the drawing, I think it's the site plan, ZC-02. Yes, that's the one. I don't know if I've heard you correctly, but you mentioned that the drawings you saw suggested that the proposed structure is going to be about half as much greater than your current properties. Did I hear you correctly say?
Sorry, no, if I said that, I misspoke. That's not what I'm saying. I believe it's about 2 meters extending further back from the back of my house.
Thank you. Because I was just going to say that this is, the drawing here actually shows your property at the bottom, and then you're at number 7.
I am at number 7.
Yeah.
So there's 2 concerns. I'll just tell you, there's 2 concerns with my drawing, with that drawing there. You notice on the back of the house, there's a window well, I believe is what it is, going down into the basement. And right beside that, there is a proposed deck. I will tell you that I have seen another architectural drawing on this same house that has that deck extending significantly into the backyard, and I know that because the picture has a full-length dining room table on it. So again, I'm concerned that this is going to continuously extend into my viewscape, quite frankly.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Do we have any other speakers? Or?
No, through you, Mr. Chair, we'll call back the agent.
Thank you. Your responses.
Thank you. I appreciate Mr. Nicholson's comments. I would flag a few items of rebuttal in response to the comments that have been received, as well as in the comments in the letters. I would note that the planning rationale that's filed with the committee and which is agreed to by city planning staff, it's not utilizing the exceptions in the area to rationalize the proposal. The proposal is rationalized on its own merits, simply flagging that there are very similar conditions with respect to building length, density in this immediate area, both in existing conditions as a result of approvals. The characterization that the proposal is reducing green space is not correct. As we noted in my presentation, actually making efforts to increase the amount of front yard landscaping in the front yard, and there's no reduction of green space in the rear yard. In fact, a previous deck removal is part of this proposal, and the deck is now limited to the proposed deck that's shown on the site plan. There are nuances to, as this committee knows, to the requested variances with respect to height, with respect to the building depth, and with respect to the floor area. The rear main wall height is limited to that third floor portion, which is consistent with other rear additions in the area. The overall building height is under the bylaw requirement of 11 meters, and it is a sensitive third floor proposal in this case. With respect to building depth, as noted, specific design in mitigation measures have been taken to note that the variance is required for the basement length from the required front yard setback to the rear main basement wall. That steps back to a limited amount beyond the existing house at 7 Ridout for the ground floor only, noting that standard landscaping measures of the existing board fence, vegetation, et cetera, can mitigate privacy issues for that small portion. If you want to go to slide 7 of my diagram of my presentation, as well as the lack of windows on that side of the house, which is consistent with the condition at 7, and then the further step backs of the building depth above that to actually be within the area of the 7 Ridout length immediately to the west. I would note that, and this diagram demonstrates, the proposal does not go well beyond the property to the south. It is a limited amount of the ground floor only that exceeds the current length of 7 Ridout. The committee knows that it's not a numerical calculation, but one of impact when we look at the impact of variances and whether they're minor. And we've demonstrated through a detailed design with respect to privacy, visual impact, that this proposal meets the 4 tests. With respect to the last point on the deck is proposed to be as of right under the zoning bylaw, and obviously our clients have the right to utilize a deck and a rear yard in the way that they see fit in the future post-renovation. So hopefully that has addressed the comments and concerns, and I'm also happy to answer questions from the committee as well.
Mr. Reeves, got a question for you.
Yeah, I mean, key part of your argument for the lack of impact is that the depth is mostly the basement and then a little bit on the main floor. So would you be okay if we tie our approval to the elevations?
But that's a standard condition, and we would not oppose the application.
Thank you.
Condition. Correct. Yeah.
If I may just ask a quick question along the lines, just looking at the west elevation drawings. And this is I think it's the deck above the first floor. It's almost at second floor level.
There's no proposed private amenity space above the ground.
Okay, so what am I looking at when I see it? It almost looks like some form of fencing or screening.
If you can point, is it
drawing number ZC11B? That's the one. So on just above, there's a little balcony at the back, and then just above that, there's...
That's the deck. That's just a material change. Let me double, I'll confirm that against the second floor drawings. It's simply a parapet on the roof of the ground floor.
Okay, so but it's a raised parapet?
I believe it's part of the ground floor, floor to ceiling height.
There's no access to it.
There's no access. There's no access to that portion. There's no access to that portion above the ground floor, correct?
That's good, thank you, thank you. Any other questions, folks? No? Any comments? If not, we'll take it into committee and have some feedback. Ms. Reed?
Thanks, Chair. I can start with some comments. I think this is a good proposal. The variances before us, in relation to the depth, most of that is because of the basement towards the rear, which is not necessarily visible or causing impact. The rear main wall height, when I saw that, I was quite alarmed, but I think the way that it's massed and the way that it steps down and is really pushed up towards the kind of center of the house and off of each side as well, I think that lessens that impact. I think the stepping kind of strategy is quite successful and has an eye towards privacy and really, I think, does kind of consider the neighbors in its execution. And I think that they are relatively small. Like the FSI is a bit of a jump, but as we see in these neighborhoods, often the FSI is significantly higher existing, that is than what's permitted. So I would support this application.
Anybody else? Any other comments?
I would agree with Peter. I mean, there is a depth variance, but there's no length variance, which I think is a reflection of the overall design. I'm just wondering if people are supportive of this. You know, the neighbor was concerned about the back deck, and if we tie it to elevations or site plan, Sabrina, if we do that, but that deck could be expanded at a later in an as-of-right situation, could they? Would tying it to the plan limit them, even if it's as-of-right? So an as-of-right would overrule tying it to the plan.
That's correct.
Okay, that's what I was after. Thanks.
Just a couple comments. I was just going to say, first of all, I really like that we're using a carport and replacing the garage with that. I think that actually improves the presentation of the front of the house. And I really like that the front of the house keeps very much the style of the area and steps back and slopes and whatever, you know, the wall height is at the back. I feel like these are important considerations that make it a supportable application.
Move a motion.
Chair, do you have any comments, or should I move a motion?
I was just going to comment as well. I think we've got four variances, and there were two that jumped out at me, and one was the depth, and the other was the landscaping. And I think I've had adequate explanation for both. And I think, as one of my colleagues mentioned, the stepping back of the structure makes a big difference, notwithstanding any of the comments that the neighbor has made and the concerns. But I hope that the concerns will be allayed as time goes on and once the structure is fully in place. So I'd be supportive of this application as well. Mr. Reid, did you want to move a motion?
Thanks, Chair. For the reasons we've all stated, I'll move approval of the application subject to ravine natural feature protection condition, urban forestry conditions, and also tying it to the site plan and all elevations to secure the stepping down, which is a key element of this proposal.
Thank you very much. Second, Mr. Reid, thank you. All those in favor? Thank you. You have your approvals. Thank you. Okay. And we are now at item number 29. Item number 29, pardon me. Item number 29 is 38 Leroy Avenue. Purpose of this application is to alter the existing two-story detached dwelling by constructing front and rear one-story additions on the first level, a front porch with stairs, a rear deck with stairs, and a rear at-grade patio. The existing ancillary building, detached garage in the rear yard will be maintained and unaltered. Pardon me. The committee had before it the following communication: copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, and 10 photographs of the subject property received on the 9th of July. Pardon me. We don't have any folks in opposition.
Through you, Mr. Chair, we have the agent here in person, no registered speakers.
Thank you. I take it you're Mr. Lundy? Not.
He's online. I'm Peter Ganan. I am the owner of the property.
Thank you. Could we get your name and full name and address, please? Again.
Peter Ganan, and I own 38 Leroy. Do you want my current home address?
I imagine it is your current address.
I'm not living there right now, no. I can give you my current address.
That would
for the record, 625 Beloyle Street.
Thank you. Just so that they know where to find you.
Yes.
Thank you so much. This is in keeping with some of the other very complex applications we've received today. You've got one variance in front of us. Let me just see if my colleagues have any questions of you. Any? None? There we go. So thank you for the straightforward application. We'll take it into committee and come forward with a response for you.
Thank you.
Mr. Clay?
Sure. First of all, thanks for coming down and sitting through all that. I hope it was entertaining. As the chair mentioned, it's a very straightforward application. It's very minor. There is virtually no negative impact to anyone adjacent or nearby. It's just a new front porch and a small fill-in addition on the back. So and only one variance before us. So I think this is a very supportable application. I'm prepared to move approval with no conditions.
Thank you. Do we have a seconder? Mr. McKay, thank you. All those in favor? Thank you. You have your approval. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
And we're done before.
And with that, we conclude for the day.
So we are adjourned at 3:43 p.m. Thank you, members.
Thank you.
What are we going to do with the rest of the day?
I know.
Movies.
My wife's going to be